This video is shot in resampled, repitched, lo-fi audio.
Recently, I was getting into making videos in Matroska because the video quality is exactly the same as the original file, which I thought was neat. Um, I think my my M-rated Zootopia parody video used used Matroska. Um, my Frey parody video also used Matroska. But one of the things I was wondering is if from now on, could I use Matroska for everything so that all my videos were lossless? And, well, I found that that can essentially be done, but because YouTube reencodes um, the files you upload to YouTube, it can't be done for everything. For example, if you had a really high quality 240p video, let's say it's uncompressed, and you try to upload that. I mean, you shouldn't upload uncompressed files to YouTube, but let's say you had it in something like AV1, which is a very small file size, but it's based on compressed video or something. I don't really know. All I know is that it butchered the AV1 encode when it was converted from AV1 to MP4. It ruined the file. So there is a way to losslessly encode a low resolution video that's at a high bit rate. And the way that you do it is you need a capture card and you need OBS Studio. Oh, anyway, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. First, let's just deal with a normal Matroska file and why you'd want to use it. Matroska allows you to combine videos losslessly. You do that by right-clicking append, and you can switch out audio from a low-quality version to a high-quality version. You can retime the audio. That's what was done with the try anything video. That was what was done with the Sonic video. It was completely retimed to match what I did with my voice in Audacity, which is I made it much deeper. I don't think I'm gonna re-encode this because, well, I mean, I did it with the Sonic video. I guess I'll decide later. It's just, I have a feeling this is gonna be a long video. So, you can stretch videos or contract videos to fix audio that got screwed up by an incorrect framerate or other things, and you can also use it to mix incompatible audio formats, like MP4 with Opus. So now that we got that out of the way, how would you edit with a format that essentially isn't a video editor? Now the video I'm going to recommend in the description shows how to do that, but he does it by using a player called Pop Player and doing it by the exact frame. Now, that's very precise, but it seems like that would be a major pain. So I'm going to recommend a way that you could, at least to me, you could practically do it. Um, when you're using a video editor, at least in Movavi, you see the second, you see a minute, you see a second, you see a millisecond, you see a centisecond, and you see a decisecond. So it would be something like 1 minute, 34 seconds, and 537 milliseconds. So, I mean, that's a fair amount of precision. Um, and I find in Matroska, which is a weakness of the format, you can't quite get much finer than that. Um, but usually you can't tell the difference between something that is, you know, um, hundreds of thousands of milliseconds off or something. Usually no one would notice. So how would you do it? Okay, first you add in a video track. Then first you import the video. Then you add in a new video track. Import the same video again. Then you save that as reference video and the name of your video project. The reason, I mean, you can do it however you want, but the idea is you're going to go back to this project every time you want to edit a clip. So, let's say you want to edit your first clip on here. You take the you trim it to the beginning of wherever you want your first clip to be, and then you open up Notepad, you write clip 1, you write the beginning of the clip. So if it's 40 seconds, then it's 40 seconds and 627 milliseconds or something. You write that down, and that's what you'll split by. But right, and you also need to know then you trim the end of the clip, and wherever the clip ends at, that's what you write down at the end. And so, for example, you would go into Matroska, you say, I want to split the clip from this duration to this duration, and Matroska will do it, and it's no big deal. And you do this for every clip. So you would just, once you make the clip, you save that clip as another project. You save that as clip 1. And then you open the reference project, you make another clip, you save that as clip 2. This is on brianscience2.weebly.com. It makes a lot more sense on there. I don't know why I didn't just straight read it. I don't know. I guess because this is using a lot of it's kind of boring, I guess. Sometimes I don't know. Very technical language is better written down than it is spoken. I don't know, maybe I just read fast. So, I mean, I think that's basically it. Oh, right. Now, what if you wanted to make a video that's less than 720p, or it had a very high bit rate and it's higher than, and the resolution's not 4K, 16 megabits per second, and it's higher than 5,000 megabits per second, and it's sorry, let me start over. It's for YouTube, 1080p files shouldn't be any larger than 5,000 megabits per second. Maybe I'm wrong on the 1080p file, but if it's 4K, it shouldn't be more than 16 megabits per second. Those aren't exact numbers. I'm not exactly sure what the exact number they're using is, but essentially at a certain bit rate, YouTube will no longer increase the bit rate of your video. So let's say you have this really high quality 1080p video. YouTube will not convert it at that bit rate because it's higher than the highest encode or whatever for YouTube. So if you want to encode at that original bit rate, you have to raise the resolution. And what I did when I encoded at a lower bit rate is I use a filter, and the video ended up looking pretty good. But I didn't use a capture card for that. If you want to see a video that does use a capture card and essentially has lossless quality, that's my Donkey Kong Country 2 video. And anyway, the encoding preset for that is, it's fast. Maybe it's very fast, I forget. Intel Quick Sync and adaptive quantization, and 5,000 kilobits per second. And I guess there are a lot of capture card tutorials, but I forget what the capture card was using, but I think one, it's not upscale. This is not really a capture card tutorial, and I don't remember all the settings that it used. I mean, if you've captured stuff using a capture card before and that worked for you, that's fine. I don't remember the settings, but I think the important settings were highest FPS in OBS Studio, and for the common frame rates for OBS Studio should be the frame rate of the video. I found that worked best. For example, if it's if the content is 24 frames per second, put 24. If it's 30, put 30. If it's 60, put 60. The Donkey Kong Country frame rate was 60, so I didn't really have to worry about it. Games are typically 60. Although I found that at least when watching content using the capture card, using highest FPS, it didn't really matter what I set the FPS to, because my content never reached higher than 60 FPS, so it was always fine.